Thank you. Thank you. Is this on? All right. I'm glad to be back here at DevOps Days. I'm speaking on how to hunt for the elusive unicorn and finding cybersecurity talent in the real world. So this talk kind of developed because I was speaking on DevSecOps at a conference earlier this year. And after the session, somebody came up to me and we're talking. I'm giving him ideas on things he can do within his organization. And he said, it's all great, but I don't have one of you. And I'm thinking like, well, what does that mean? He tried to say I was a unicorn. And I'm like, what is a unicorn? So I go do research and I find out what a unicorn is. And it says a unicorn is these things. So I'm thinking, well, okay, I have a lot of those things, so maybe I am a unicorn, but what does it really take to get application security talent? What does it take to be successful? Because to me, I still view myself as the same kid that grew up that loved to solve puzzles. I started programming basic code on TI-99. And I grew up to believe that security is a shared responsibility. And I've always been like a curious learner. I've always been a tinkerer. I have that growth mindset. So, my journey is one that you might expect. I started off with a technical degree. I moved into a software development role and then into information security. And I combined my software engineering and my security skills and moved into AppSec. But what I realized during my time in information security is that not all security people are created equal. Most of my peers in the InfoSec world came from a different background. They came from an IT background, while I had a software background. I feel like that software background benefits you in AppSec. So I'd rather take a developer and teach them security versus teach software processes to a security person. So we still do the same old thing, and we try to recruit security talent. We look for a technical degree, X number of years of work experience, which I think is arbitrary, and a certification, which may or not translate to success in the role itself. So we already have a shortage of cybersecurity talent, and it's only going to get worse. So how do we increase the pool that we're looking for in the cybersecurity world? How do we find that talent we need to fill these roles? So we need to start thinking outside the box. Start looking for other ways. So one way is to look for those from non-traditional backgrounds. And I think Chloe, who spoke earlier, is an example of that, and our own Annie is another example. And also look at who's going to be filling these jobs, which would be the millennials. They're the largest generation in the workspace right now. And what they need, a lot of them want training. And we're not giving them that training. We're not giving them that education. They're not getting it in their degree programs, and we're not telling them about cybersecurity careers, so they don't know the skills they need to be successful. So we must train them in the workplace, educate them in the workplace. So it's even more important now because DevOps has accelerated the pace at which software is delivered and developed. So we must integrate security thinking and processes into the DevOps workflow. But that hasn't always been the case. Dev and Ops got together, started having their DevOps party, and security was left out. So like Jared said on Silicon Valley, is there a reason I wasn't invited to the party? Well, yes, because security processes traditionally did not fit the DevOps agility. But now we have DevSecOps. We've started automating our security tasks. So it takes certain skills to be successful in AppSec, DevSecOps. Knowledge of the software development lifecycle, proficiency in secure coding, and then be able to communicate those to your dev teams. But most importantly, we're here talking about DevOps, you got to have automation. You got to be able to automate those security tasks. So build that automation and the tooling and allow these teams to self-service. So offering security as a service. And that allows you to scale your team and focus on more strategic tasks. Once you have your team in place, other ways you can scale. If you have some security resources, but you don't have enough to do the automation, maybe you can borrow developer resources from your development teams. You can also recruit security champions. So those are those people outside of the security team that have an interest in security. And in AppSec, to be successful, you have to have the builder and a breaker mentality. Coming from a software background, you already have the builder mentality. Now we have to build up that breaker side by identifying vulnerabilities and how to exploit them. And we can train you to do that within the workplace. So when it comes to training, if you have the resources internally in your organization, you can do internal sessions. If you have the money, you can purchase computer-based training or utilize some of the free resources like some of those available through OWASP. So kind of in conclusion, I just want to tell you to be open to those from the non-traditional backgrounds, invest in your training, look for those with software experience and have that growth mindset. You may want a team full of unicorns, but a true team is a mix of leaders, specialists, and support staff. So when I take that and put that into a more modern job listing, look for people that are adept at using scripting languages, understand modern web architecture, modern web architecture, and willing to learn by tinkering. And like the last part says, Google like a pro, because it's all, let's be, let's be honest, you're not going to know the answer to every problem, so you have to be resourceful, and a smart person is not one that knows the answers, but one who knows where to find them. Thank you.